Happy Saturday, YouTube. So let me ask you a serious question. How'd you end up your week? Did you end up in the black making money? Or are you in the red? Because I know a lot of agents ended their week in the red. And what I mean by that is that you paid for leads, you put up the money, and here you are on a Saturday wondering how you're going to come out of pocket again come Monday for next week's leads. But you didn't make no sales. Or you made sales, but they weren't enough to cover your initial investment, make a little bit of money, and repeat the process. Let me tell you something. This gets old real fast when you're in the red every single weekend. Every single weekend when you're, meditating and thinking about the following week, you're in the negative. And that's not fun. Every time that I talk to an agent that's been in this business months or maybe years, their number one concern when it comes to buying leads is that being in the negative, being in the situation where they can't afford to continue to doing this. And on top of this, cover every other expense that's involved with what we do. It sucks. Being in the red sucks. But what can you do to better that? In some cases, buy more leads. If you buy more leads, eventually you'll outpace it. I recommend you skill up. Make sure that your sales process is down, your closing strategies are perfect, because that will guarantee that you don't have to go through a bunch of leads to make sales because you have the skill set and you know how to close. The number one solution agency owners give agents is buy more leads. But that's very expensive. The other day I was talking to an agent working for an insurance carrier, and he was talking to me about this same issue. He felt like he was always in the red, in the negative. And we started breaking down his numbers. I asked him how many leads he purchased. He said 40. How much did you invest to buy those 40? $1,000. And I asked him how many sales did he make out of those 40 leads? 5. So basically, he was at around a 12% closing ratio, meaning that for every 8 leads that he purchased from this company, he was making a sale. He was able to establish a benchmark, and he knew that in order for him to come out of his situation, he can buy more leads and keep doing whatever he was doing, closing at 12%, and eventually the commissions would cover the cost, but it would leave him with a smaller margin of profit. Every single day, this is the issue with agents. This is the problem they're dealing with. They don't know their numbers. They're struggling. And they don't recognize that this is a business. In his case, if he invests in 8 leads, he'll make 1 sale. What's your closing ratio? How many presentations do you have to make before you make a sale? That's the question that you need to be asking yourself. And how can you better your numbers every single day? Because the only competition that you have is yourself, nobody else. This is a fact. And it's not fun that if you're buying leads every week, but you're not making enough to cover the cost, making a little profit to justify the investment the following week, you're not going to make it. That's why the failure rate in our business is so high, because insurance agents aren't taking this into account. So if you're watching this, one of the things that I recommend you do is follow me, shadow me, Because one thing's talking about it and the other thing is doing it, right? But I invite you to come and see what I'm doing. And I'll show you my dialing speed. And what I mean by that is how many dials do I make before I make a full presentation. I'll show you how I handle the live call. But more importantly, I'm going to show you how to close business in real life. And if you're watching this and you're not licensed, but you really want to get into this industry, if you go down to the content section, I have a landing page where you can learn on how you can get your insurance license. And I provide you a 75% discount on all of your pre-licensing courses. So again, if you're watching this, give me an opportunity to show you exactly what it is that I'm talking about. And if you're in the red, call me. The number one thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to try to sell you anything or try to sell you leads. I'm going to encourage you to get all of your leads that you currently have, all the old leads, and I'm going to provide some value in the form of compliance on how you dial those old leads. And more importantly, I'm going to dial those leads with you, and I'm going to show you how to sell and how to close. Because at the end of the day, if you're not closing enough deals every week, fast enough to make enough money to pay for the cost and make a profit, you're not going to be in this business very long. I've been doing this almost 2 decades. I'm 45 years old, and I would love to show you what I've been doing for years. It's not perfect, but nothing else is either. But insurance sales is one of those products that you don't need a warehouse full of shit. You don't need to be doing drop shipments. You don't got to open up merchant accounts. You don't have to do anything except go out and help as many families with their funeral insurance. The insurance carriers handle everything else, from paying your commissions to paying claims and to doing all the back office customer service that your customers are going to be doing over the years. So with that said, again, if you're in the red, call me. Peace.